You know, it's a few years since you've toured. It was 2023, wasn't it?
Oh God, who's counting?
Well, we chatted 3 years ago.
Listen, fan base, have patience. It is worth the wait.
It is going to happen. It is going to happen.
Quite a few bad things happened, and
yeah,
and we've had to have a change of personnel with the drummer, but we're on track, and we will be recording an album after the tour.
Well, you're very, very busy.
Maybe even in between, and then of course I go out and do those stand-up talk tours. Which I love very much. And I got to say, the last one I did was so helpful to me to get over the loss of Nora. I feel it's the right thing to do. The way to communicate with people through that process was amazing. I always thought Peel was a very communicative band, but to be just alone on the stage, suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, kind of helped.
I bet.
It was the empathy that I was getting from the audiences, and they were happy to just talk to one. And so the meet and greets before the show were very important because they filled me in. Yeah. So I work without a script in those situations, but they filled me in about all their worries and all their woes and all their dilemmas. Yeah. Really humbling stuff, but at the same time, positively communicating. Yeah. An amazing vibe. Yeah. I had no idea of how that was going to go, but luckily for me, I've got the gift of the gabble, right? The Irish just won't shut up. Well, I've heard only good things from the spoken word tour, so you know, because we shot the rest. Wow. Well, it's 3 years since we last spoke. It was April 2022. I don't know if you remember it, but and a few things, as you say, have happened. So condolences for Nora and John Rambo. You know, those are tough things. They've happened in the interim period. So I'm really sorry for you. And I've got to add to that the loss of our drummer Bruce. That feels like too. Yeah, because we were good friends, but he has problems and issues that he has to resolve away from all of this calamity. I read a little bit about that, and you've got a new drummer on board in Mark Roberts, haven't you? Yeah, he's got a good pedigree. Yes, he does. He's a bloody good player, and he'll of course have an influence. Yeah. And it's odd too, when we were heading towards this, we want to just like bang out a fucking evening of solid rockers, and he's the bloke for it. And of course he's dabbled around with Middle Eastern techniques with Lou. Well, he was with Massive Attack, and it's wonderful. Like if there's any glitches or singing out of tune, I'll just claim it's in Turkish. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. I saw the last tour, and I have to say it was extremely entertaining. I really enjoyed it. You know, it was an excellent gig, and what I loved was the fact that you included everything right from the very beginning through Metal Box. I didn't think that you were going to do so much, you know, stuff from the early period, and it was thrilling to hear all of that dub soaked, you know, pop tones and that type of stuff. I loved Metal Box when it came out. It was one of those albums that people carried around. I carried it around so much on the first day that I dropped it and put a dink in it. Like a handbag. I put a dink in the damn thing. You can't get your lipstick in that tin. No, it's a bit slim. And I love taking the records out one by one, you know, with the sheet of paper in between and reading everything, you know, reading all of the lyrics and listening to Radio 4, you know, the final track. It really defined that, you know, 1979. It was a real era defining record, wasn't it? It was incredible. So to hear that, it was necessary, and that's what we felt like doing, and that's where we did. Yeah.
And as you said, dub influences. No. We use the word dub as short for dubious.
Oh, really? But I want to pick away at that.
No, but it's a good one-liner.
Yeah. Dubious. Yeah. Okay. But what I want to just like explore a little bit is that when you came out of the Pistols in sort of, January 1978, and it was all, I mean, let's face it, Never Mind the Bollocks is a fantastic rock and roll record. It is a cracking rock record. And you went from producing that explosive, iconic sound of the sound of 77, and then you get to the end of 77, and what was it like? What we're going to do now? Where are we going to get our influences from? You fly over to Jamaica. You've got John Gray's record collection. How did the influences all come together to congeal in what would be the first Pill record?
Well, first and foremost, I was brought up with reggae. In the area I grew up in North London, we called it Arsenal Land. There we did not only have reggae as like a staple part of our musical diet, but Tamla, Jimi Hendrix was definitely in the mix. But there'd be Irish folk music, Greek, Cypriot and Turk folk music, an absolute melting pot of things. So I grew up with an open mind about all of those different avenues, but with the intent of not imitating any one particular brand, because somewhere in there I found my heart and soul, and I was determined to put that to music, but not in a genre-like way.
Yeah. Well,
my mate had a fantastic record collection, John Gray, but so did I. And believe me, the two were very different.
But yours was more like psychedelia. You went to Captain Beefheart. So many sort of different, diverse.
No, sorry, sir. I pity the man on acid listening to Trout Mask Replica.
Oh, I love Trout Mask Replica. I think it's amazing.
I think the fun of it is so elaborately done.
Yeah. It's a way that you find something new in it.
The intelligence of understanding, like, well, this could be a regular song, but it's more fun if we don't.
Did you not find with Captain Beefheart that he put words together like Sid Vicious did on not Sid Vicious, Sid Barrett? Little slip there. Sid Barrett did.
Barrett too. So there you go.
He put words together like on Word Song, just because the words sounded great together.
Lots of people do that. I think Lol was also in that, but that's absolutely entertaining for me because that's their personality being expressed. As bubbles and squeaks, shall we say? Me, I'm a little more cohesive in my direction, because you can tell I read a lot of fucking books. So when I write, it's always too elaborate, and then I cut it down. Because one of the major influences on me was my English teacher in secondary school. He hated me and I hated him. Pistain's Prentice. But I learned so much from him. That just a simple line of the best English is the simplest. Well, just speak directly.
I was listening to the latest album.
Paul, by the way, because we were studying Shakespeare.
I didn't hear any forsooths or wherefore art thou's in your writing at the time.
Shakespeare's very good at whoever Shakespeare is or was. Very good at hiding the intent. And letting the listener work it out. That's very, very smart, and that's a proper presentation. That's showbiz Elizabethan style.
So what can we expect?
Very much like, I suppose, Dame Edna Everage with a sword.
Oh, he's a genius, wasn't he? Wow.
Amazing. Oh my God, he scared the living daylights out of me once. we turned up like late, me and a friend and Nora, to see him live in the theatre in Soho, and of course he spotted me. Oh my God, the ribbing! Ah, I couldn't cope. I hid under the seat, and people guffawing all around.
Did he just target you for a laugh?
Yeah. He ad-libbed it, and I loved it to death. I appreciated that the sheer wit of it.
Yeah.
Oh, full on daggers, right? Just delicious.
Such a talent, such a great talent.
Even, but I can be entertained by being embarrassed just as good as anybody else. But I loved his stuff before that, and I've loved everything that man has done all through his career. His Les Patterson, to me, was just great.
Hilarious when you see the interviews.
I know people like that. You know,
very, very funny. Very,
and
very
his
funny.
Dave Edna was to me, and my background, such an Irish biddy. I knew plenty of them girls.
Yeah, from your childhood, of course. Being brought up in an Irish home. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's all my aunts.
So what can we expect during the tour?
And that's how I learn from things. I don't see it as a dissipated energy removed far from my experience. I look for what I see familiar in it and see if the descriptions are right and good. And that more or less sums up how I make music.
Yeah.
And that's why we can shape shift musically from one attitude to another, because it has to be consistent with what the words are saying. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. I think for you, it very much comes from the lyrics, isn't it? The lyrics define. I see you as writing constantly, and the lyrics defining what the song should sound like. So when you all get together, I'm guessing that you're delivering the lyrics and they're all following you and they're all building a sound around it.
Yes, and I'm listening to their music ideas and I'm picking out bits that I know fit something that I've got. But again, it's back to this English teacher, Pistane's Prentice. You know, when we do like poetry, and beforehand, it was only a young bloody hooligan. The concept of poetry having a music of its own was just wonderful, and learning poetic beats and rhythms and structures.
The meter,
And I just fell in love with that idea, and from there on in thought, what the hell? What do you mean the working class can't fucking have poetry? You ever been to the back of the North Bank Arsenal? You'll hear some poetry there.
I bet. Did you ever listen to John Cooper Clarke and the way he delivered?
Yeah. I've met John a few times. I really like the fella.
The Bard of Salford. He's a genius.
It's just great fun.
Yeah. And he was bringing records out at a similar time.
He does tell stories about people around him, but that's the riveting thing. He's like a walking novel, really.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas the likes of Bruce Springsteen, he has to fake his stories.
Well, he did write Blinded by the Light.
You got to hold your nose to talk like him.
Oh, you do? Yeah, no, absolutely. Talking of Springsteen, I did like Manfred Mann's Earth Band, Blinded by the Light, which he wrote, which was a great song.
Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Gosh, we are going back there.
Yeah, 1972, I think it was. Yeah. Maybe 73.
And I go back further, and you might not understand the association, but I loved Chicago.
Really?
When I was really young. Yeah, I absolutely adored things like Spinning Wheel, because it was so obstrophulously out of time or sync or giving a fuck about what the rest of the world was up to. They had their own complete sound.
Was that a Shakespeare word?
It was danceable brass.
Yeah.
The Northern Colonies could learn a lesson from this.
Oh, wow. I've always associated it with soft rock. Chicago.
Thunderous live. It was mad.
Really?
Blaring horns coming out of a PA and off the stage.
Yeah.
Thrilling. And as you know, with brass, it only takes one chap to be slightly off tune, and the whole thing ends up like Eno's Philharmonic Orchestra.
Oh yes, I was listening to a bit of that.
Another album I love because it just makes me fall on the floor squealing with delight.
Yeah,
the tunelessness of it, but I find that the most useful part, because that's where my soul then has a place to explore. It's like an opening, and you could like, declare it wrong and be a fool, or go, well, hang on, there's a possibility in that avenue.
Yeah. Do you not find that with some of the records we were talking about, Trout Mask Replica? There's an album by the Aphex Twin called Drugs, and it's very, very dense, electronica, hard electronica, and you completely lose yourself in it,
Yeah. No, I love that band. I love that attitude.
Yeah. No, incredible. What can we...
And what people don't understand, early reggae, what they think is complicated drum patterns is, no, they've fucking got it wrong. And that's basically how to properly understand reggae, because its roots were, of course, R&B, but a lot of country and western was in there.
Yeah.
And I was thrilled the first time I went to Jamaica to see that Jim Reeves was still #1.
Oh my God, you're joking.
All the record stores.
Wow. They had a thing for country.
I know, and you're expecting something quite stale, righteous rastas and all of that. And no, they're mixed up as the rest of us.
I just had it with the big sound systems walking down the street, the big reggae sound systems, and those parties and everything.
There'd be that too. But, there was one area we went to. It was a friend of mine. He was of Arawak Indian descent.
Oh.
Right, the original natives. And so they had their own area and their own forms of music.
Yeah.
And indeed, there'd be different reggae structures and beliefs from one ghetto to another. And you have to be very careful about wandering from a JLP to a JNP.
Oh, really? There's rivalry.
Yeah, and so the sound systems would be playing different aspects of reggae.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind that reggae really is centered around the Abyssinians for me.
Right.
I think that first album, that's the 12 hymns of Rasta.
Yeah. And would you credit Don Letts with popularizing reggae around the punk era?
I'm very glad he did. I'm very glad he did. I mean, we had a common ground there between us. Reggae. It was, but then again, when I first knew Don, he had a Mark Bolan perm.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
he wears the big hat now, doesn't he? The big rasta. He covers it all up now, doesn't he?
It's like the old problem that Gregory Isaacs said, that when the locks weigh so much that they're pulling the roots out of your head, it's time to stop it, right? Because it's again that album Dread Bald Heads. You will go bald if you leave.
Yeah, eventually.
You have to drag this train around off the back of your neck. Fucking hell. All you end up seeing of them is an Adam's apple. Oh.
With a huge weight behind.
Yeah, pulling them down. So every aspect of life has humor in it. If you open your eyes and you're not just prejudiced and hateful.
Well, you'd find
there will be people who will mistranslate what I've just said as to I'm racist or whatever, and I can't deal with those fools.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
those are kind of people who are never going to get into heaven. Because you don't realize that heaven is here. It's in yourself.
Yeah. The goodness in your heart. No, totally agree. Yeah. What can we expect during the tour then, John? Because you're kicking off in a couple of months. You're even playing Carr hall up here in Warrington near me. So
Yeah,
what you got planned?
We're playing all sorts of gigs, but
Yeah.
we would do small, intimate venues and large festivals. But over the years, I've learned to cope with the strangeness of festivals. It's a different kind of projection you have to get going on. I love the small venues because of the intimacy and the eye contact with the crowd.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is an enjoyable way around projecting too.
Yeah.
It's funny. Nora taught me this because she was an actress when she was very, very young.
No, I didn't know. Yeah.
I think she was in a film called Taras Bulba with Frank Boyd and said he was a dirty old man and he tried to touch her up.
Oh dear. Oh,
but
dear.
She had a very loud voice, but she learned that from acting school, like, to project. And that's what you do. You not so much the voice, because I project that anyway, but the image.
I was going to say, nobody projects like you do. I mean, you have the trillest voice in the whole of the business, right?
Do I?
I think so. Yes.
Am I Tweety Pie? I'm a puddy cat.
But I read that because I was reading this wonderful interview here in Record Collector magazine. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah. So you pretty much fill all of the magazine, all the centre pages anyway. And
it's
looking
amazing.
at...
Yeah, it's amazing they gave me that bigger spread.
Oh, it's a great interview. It really is. I mean, you know, going through your record collection, the you know, everything that not defined you, but what you collected, what you're listening to, all that sort of stuff. That's fascinating. And I believe the record collection's in England. It's not in Malibu.
Yeah, well, most of it got melted in a fire there years ago, just before
wow.
Nora's Alzheimer's. But there were definite signs coming on.
Yeah.
And we used to have a friend living there, but he was just useless. And he burnt out the clothes dryer and didn't repair the belt and didn't tell Nora. And she turned the damn thing on and it caught fire. And most of my records got melted.
Are you joking? It's just the worst thing, isn't it?
No, there's worse.
Yeah.
It's Nora, in her infinite wisdom, decided to cancel the house insurance as a waste of money 2 months before without asking.
Wow. Oh, you're joking? So you didn't get any money for it? Oh my God! Even worse. Yeah, but your record collection's that most precious thing. You know, I spilt some beer on a few singles, and it was the end of the world. You know. Yeah,
but it shouldn't be. It's you know, it's like if you have like a calamitous situation, you realize that property and ownership and things like that become secondary to survival.
Yeah.
I was glad she survived. She could have been burnt to a crisp. And what value would you know, my Super 8 album be at that point?
Yeah. No, absolutely. 100%.
I had some very early discs, which another friend gave me because his brother was a mod of Rod Stewart with Jeff Beck. Glorious sessions. And one record in particular, which I really miss, it was called All Down the Line.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm damned if I'm desperately trying to find a copy of that because I really loved that. The guitaring was so heavy and raw, and Rodney's voice over the top was just excellent stuff.
Well, he's genius singer. Have you heard Little Misunderstood, a Mike Darbo song by Rod Stewart from about 1968? It's one of my favourite records ever. I read in here that you had a creation, one of the creation records as one of your favourite records. And I think that was 1967. But
yeah, for years I thought Creation was an American band, but it wasn't.
Yeah. It was an English one, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was quite surprised. Thank you, YouTube.
So you've been through the whole back catalogue now, have you?
I think I've performed that live once or twice, because I love that song. Yeah, I love that aspect of the mod side. See,
yeah,
not the
mod
more
stroke
silly.
side.
Yeah, the more crazier element. I never really got into all the blokes wearing the same suit with the thin tie and the mop top thing. Just, you know, Oh, you know, to me that they always looked like paddies at the back of the church on Sunday.
Well, you mentioned Mark Bolan, and there's a wonderful picture of him as a mod in 1964, 5 or something, looking exactly as you've just described. And Bowie as well.
Mark Bolan and T-Rex has put out some amazing records with amazing productions.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Tony Visconti.
Down to, you know, I got to say, the words are completely silly, but he was a silly little man, you know, in happy-go-lucky gnome. Right? And so, but my God, those songs I hot love, and they brought boys and girls together on a dance floor like no one's business. They were stunning. You can actually touch a girl. Wow. I'm dancing.
Were you a fan of glam at any point?
All of it, yeah. And as I said, I think that's my, like, if I've got influences, it would come from that element too.
Yeah.
I love the simplicity of a really good pop song.
Yeah, big stomping beat. Slade.
Yeah. That you could dance to.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many like erroneous nonsenses perpetrated out there, particularly from America, that the New York underground scene is what influenced us, without any fucking idea that how on earth would we have heard that stuff? There was no internet then, right? The BBC certainly weren't playing them. It's just a fantasy and a lie that I think it shouldn't be perpetrated. But it's always clever, smarty-ass intellectuals at the back of all that, with a bit of resentment that culture doesn't come from New York, boys and girls.
Do you think there's always a Svengali in the background leading a movement or a particular band?
Yes. It's always based on trying to flog records.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a Ramones re-release going on in it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you experienced that with Malcolm and Vivian as being the sort of, you know, the puppet masters, but they've always been puppet masters throughout history. It's very rare that a band is able to free themselves.
Malcolm had a loose connection with the New York Dolls, but I mean, that's an outfit I never had any real vibe about at all, because I mean, I'd gone through the glam rock thing, you know, 5-6 years prior with Sweet and Bolan and Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie.
And what the hell was that? You know, it looked like a rundown version of it.
Did you not think that Trash was a great record, a sort of proto-Clash record? 1974? I love that record.
Well, that explains why I don't like the Clash then.
Really? Did you never like the Clash?
No, it was Strummer's voice that would irritate the hell out of me.
Really?
Yeah, and his fake angst and class war nonsenses. What he was doing was creating division. And I've told them all at the time, all I want from you is tell me your middle class experiences so we can share them. Instead of you coming down and imitating my lot.
Yeah.
You know, and by that I mean my folk, my culture. Have pictures taken outside council flats, you know, as if that equates integrity. No.
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 But Mick Jones is a great songwriter, right? I mean,
I listen. Mick Jones is one of the world's nicest people.
Yeah.
Him and oh God, I forgot his name off the tip of my the bass player,
Paul Simonon. Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah.
Love them.
Well, that's nice. And did you spend any time with Strummer at the time? I guess you shared quite a few bills, didn't you?
Yeah, he'd be hanging around, but it's I'd see appalling situations. Like he'd come round and he'd sit in front of the 6 o'clock news with his notepad. We guesstimated this must have been Bernie Rhodes telling him how to write a rebel song, and he'd take out catchphrases from the commentary.
Oh, really?
10 guns in Knightsbridge. You can see the devolution.
White man in Hammersmith Palais.
you know, London's Calling. I mean, come on, that's a show about a fire brigade.
Oh, right. Talking of the fire brigade, how did you go on during the Hollywood fires this time?
They weren't as bad, or they were pretty terrifying, as I've had here before. There was. This is where I go back to where don't be precious about your possessions, because this was in the Hollywood fires of the 90s. It came right to our front door.
Yeah.
And that was terrifying, because me and Nora thought, wow, we could lose our lives here.
Yeah.
There's literally no escape. The main road was blocked with fire. So it was run into the sea. But, you know, I'm experienced enough to know that if you do that, the ocean boils. You're just cooking yourself.
You really? Yeah. I didn't really.
Oh, that's how intense the flames are. Oh, wow. And can be. And so, luckily, we were rescued by Mr. Spielberg's private fire station. Yes, he's got one. It was a hobby, but that came down and put the flames out. So that was much more intense. But that's, you know, we looked at each other and thought, who cares? House gone, maybe. We're alive. Better off.
But it's only possessions. It's only, as you were saying before, it's only possessions. They can do less, right?
You cling to possessions like enjoy them by all means, but they're not the be all and end all, and they're not the key to your soul.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, agree. What about supports on this tour, John? Have you got a few varying supports throughout the tour, or how's it going this time? I think it was Toya last time, was it?
Listen, I can still walk. I don't need supports.
You can hold on to a crutch, mate. Hang on to the microphone.
Although I once seen is it New Order? Yeah. Went out on tour with them and the Sugar Cubes years ago. I think in excess as well. But I remember the singer of New Order, he was so stoned and drunk that they gaffer taped him to a trolley and wheeled him out, flopped it in front of the bike.
He was his own support. I like it.
You know, yeah, the show must go on.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Supporting artists. You haven't supporting artists.
If the possibility is there, right, then that would be a fine thing. Right? I'm obviously not booking that way in advance before we've actually feasibly seen how can we get our own gear into half of these places. Yeah.
There's various different places, and as you said before, you're playing.
We've always had like a mad support act. So I can't remember his name now. The Northern Irish fella that came on and screamed and swore at everyone. Reading poetry. Fuck. Audiences loved him. They took it with such heart. Like, this is funny.
Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah, he was such a giggle and kind-hearted too. At the back of it all that aggression he needed to get out of, I suppose, angst, lonely bedroom stuff. But you know, there's places for this too. It's all experience, isn't it? And experiences should be shared.
But I think we'll
have a look.
Yeah. I think one of the great things that people like you can do is encourage people to come and see maybe artists that they wouldn't have expected to see supporting you. And so it'd be wonderful if you could get some local artists from each of the towns that you...
I'm also common sense enough to know I'm not going to bankrupt myself bankrolling.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because you've got to provide everything.
One of the main reasons I've lost so many people in Pill is always because I couldn't raise enough money to pay wages.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, the financial struggles are real. Real. And we live on a shoestring. Our mentality is go out, play live, earn enough money to record the next album, and then go out live from that. And so it's that cycle. But it's what keeps us fresh and intelligent.
Does it feel like a treadmill, or does it feel like a joy to be
No,
there?
not at all. It felt
I know
like
it feels to me like you really enjoy it.
very much so,
Yeah.
because we're our own deciders.
Yeah.
Right? There's no record company boardroom meeting telling us what we should and shouldn't be doing next.
Yeah.
And we got that an awful lot in them early days. They quite literally took the purse strings away.
Yes.
You know, because it wasn't like the planned way of pill that they were foreseeing. Because I did everything in it, you know, quite naturally for me to not become an idiotic Mick Jagger pop star.
Were there any times where you squandered money in the studio, in time?
No, ask Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a long career, so there's plenty of opportunity.
Yeah. But that's about it. I don't have expensive hobbies apart from buying music.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds.
Painting. You were painting that behind you when I last interviewed you. You showed it me in your house.
Oh,
With Nora in the hair. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've left it like that, unfinished, because
That's
I think
fantastic.
that's absolutely the right thing. Because now she's gone, so she's quite ghosty there.
Yeah.
And I'm pale white. I'm just waiting to join her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the background is a huge tsunami and high waves and a full moon.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. I only saw the right hand side.
You.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll bring you up close.
Yeah.
So you can have a butcher's.
Have a butcher's hook. Yeah.
Hold on. Fucking leads everywhere.
Oh, you'll lose the connection.
Yeah, no. I've got battery on charge. There, what can you see?
Yeah, go up. Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that last time. I think it was unfinished when you had it on the wall. I think you were finishing it off last time.
It was more unfinished than that.
That's
I
right.
just refined it up a little bit. And those are the waves in the background.
And Nora in the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a city in the background. Dwarf.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Are you not sort of selling prints of that or anything? You've been doing a lot of that, haven't you? The Glissé stuff.
I'm a painter, you know, my hobby.
Yeah.
And I've always been involved with the artwork. Of the records, because it's like you get the audio tapestry, but you need a visual sometimes to also explain another aspect of it. And so that's what I do.
Yeah. It's cathartic as well, right?
Hopefully. Well, yes, they're supplying information that you might miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that only music can bring. And there's the last album.
Oh, there's the album cover at the top. Yeah.
Yes, above my fake British telephone box.
I saw that in the background. Memories of home.
Again, Amazon Prime. I've seen it. Prime. It's a sticker. It's a sticker. It's huge.
Is that right? You just stuck it to the door?
Yeah. Right. You know, you can't afford the real thing.
Yeah, you could ship one over. Come on.
Well, somebody's promised me a real one, but I'm waiting for it to turn up.
They're bloody expensive now, you know. They're about $5 grand, 10 grand.
No, they're not. No.
Oh, sorry. Of course. No, the carnets.
Actually ruined my fun.
Hey, you're playing Rebellion Festival this year, and you played it in 2018. What about Blackpool by the seaside?
God, have you been there lately?
Come on, the fans are coming to see you.
I'm very, very angry and upset that British seaside towns have been let go to ruin.
The ones in the north, but if you go down to Brighton and Yarmouth, not Yarmouth. No, Great Yarmouth isn't too bad. But if you go down to Brighton and Weymouth, they're not that bad. It's the northern ones.
Going that way.
Really?
And particularly as you get towards Cornwall.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, like, what a shame. That was like the entertainment areas for the working class. Those places were vital and integral
Yeah.
That was our weekends.
Did you ever go on holiday to Blackpool?
No. My parents would send us off to Ireland for the summer break.
Did you go and stay with family?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My mother's parents.
Yeah. That makes
Quite
sense.
a man. There's a whole journey in that, which I'll explain when I get on stage in Ireland. Don't fool me about the potatoes.
The potato
I
famine.
was there.
Oh. So when you're over, you appear to only record in the UK. So when you're over, it gives the opportunity to dip into the studio.
Yeah, well, I like the atmosphere of English studios and out in the country, because there's less distraction, and the idea of having to go through London at 20 miles an hour at 2 a.m. after recording, and it taking fucking 4 hours because there's still be a traffic jam. Yeah. No, I'm not having any of that, right? Yeah. That's time wasted when I could be in a country pub with the curtains closed.
And a pint of Guinness. Well, that's good. I mean, obviously,
true. You need to focus and concentrate on what you're doing, and you really need to cut out outside influences.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what you're doing is just distracted, and it's you're filling in the jigsaw puzzle, but you're missing all the best pieces, which is that time to think about what it is you're doing.
I love the little vignettes, the little videos of you guys all sort of in the studio, you know, that you post to Facebook quite regularly through 2023. So that gives us a little snippet of what's going on, you know.
This was all Rambo at work. This was.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, he brought that in because I'm shy about cameras following me around. And he went, no, it's good for you. Let people know what you're really like, you cunt.
So Alan McGee's driving that now, is he? So aren't you working with Alan now?
Alan McGee?
Yeah.
Driving? What? What's going on?
Is he going to be sort of overseeing things?
No. We're all at it now. We're all filming little things, and are amazed that it's taken so well. You know, but it's not like podcasting or walking down the street going, "Hi, I'm now approaching the curb." It's vinaigrettes that are absolutely poignant to situations.
People love that. They love the behind the scenes. It's the Wizard of Oz thing, isn't it? Behind the curtain, you see a little bit of what's going on in John Lydon's life, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And thank you, Rambo, because he opened me up there to a world where I was probably being a little too precious.
Insular.
The angst-ridden artist. Can't you see I'm suffering? So God bless it. You know, but this is it. You know, I mean, I have influences. They're always around me, but it's the good that I take. I don't have to take the negative.
Yeah,
it's just if a thing works and it makes everybody happy. Yeah, hello, I'm all right with a bit of happiness.
Yeah, no, totally. I love the fact that you're still releasing new material. I mean, obviously, End of the World came out in 2023. You're going to you're going to record this year. It's fantastic that a band with a legacy like Pill that goes back, you know, to 1978 is still releasing new material. Whilst a lot of the bands of your era, okay, The Cure had a new album, have just sort of standing on the laurels, you know, just regurgitating all the old stuff. It's wonderful that you're still releasing, you know, new stuff, exciting stuff in the form of that album, which was I love that album, you know.
And with the skill set, which really comes from a deeper understanding of each other, that we can take old songs and absolutely shapeshift them.
Yeah.
And a crowd be with us and know we're doing that and take that journey with us. You know, like Deaf Disco.
Yeah.
The song I originally wrote about the death of my mum. But then it had to include the death of my dad. And then my two brothers having cancer didn't help. And then Nora, and then John. So the song, it's an ever-expanding graveyard of rare delights. But it's a satisfying release of pain and tension and stress.
Yeah.
And I can see that in people's eyes in gigs. They're sharing that with me. I can feed off their energies.
Do you deliver it in a different way?
Very like me is to take a negative and turn it into a positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you upgrade, not upgrade, but embellish it in different ways? Have you changed the delivery over the years, or is it straight?
It can perpetuate its own energies on stage.
Yeah.
And one of our greatest thrills is, and they'll all tell you this, is when somebody makes a mistake, everybody's with them on the mistake, and so we travel off in that.
And you follow them.
And that's what I was telling you about how I listen to music too.
Yeah.
I find great joy in that. It's not a mistake. It's there. Work it. Right? Yeah. It's a little gift from God. Right? Find out why that happened and really, really explore it. Thrilling.
I read in this same interview that you said you have many influences, but you're influenced by none. What a great line.
I'll try to clever cunt.
And I'm like, okay. So, okay. So how's he come up with it then?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? There's many, many things in my life that have really impressed me. Many. But it doesn't mean I'm going to go out and try to be exactly like that. I don't have role models to follow.
Yeah. But you clearly were influenced by stuff along the way and various different artists.
Which I've been very open and honest about.
Exactly, but without trying to copy.
And want viewers and listeners to go there and find that too.
Yeah.
Right?
I think,
And get how wonderful and expansive the universe can be.
Yeah. I think one of the wonderful things about reading something like Record Collector, and I don't want to go on about it because we've got our own magazine, Louder Than War, is the fact that.
What? I didn't hear that. What did you say?
I love the fact that we as fans and punters can discover what's in your record collection and go and chase them down and listen to the creation, listen. And I went back and I checked out Eno's Philharmonic thing to try and find it. And, I went through some of the things that were listed in here. I thought, fucking hell, that's great. I can go and listen to this. And this influenced John Lydon. This is cool. I like that. The fact that you've got.
It might not be. I've got many haters out there. So, I'm sure Eno would turn in his
recording studio
couch to find out that I liked that.
In front of his synthesizer.
He did not like me at all. That silly Billy.
Now I'm going to have to mention this, but how do you feel about Frank singing with the Sex Pistols?
It's a tough job to be taking on imitating somebody like that. It's a ridiculous position that he's going to find himself in, if not already. What value system is he working under there?
Have you seen any of the concerts, any of the clips?
I have. I've been shocked how awful it is. It just seems like they've rented a puppet. And there it is. It is truly karaoke. I think really mediocre results. He doesn't understand any of those lyrics. He couldn't possibly, because if he did, he wouldn't be doing it. He'd feel ashamed about imitating someone else and pretending that original songwriter and personality of the year award person, it didn't exist.
You seem quite chill about it, to be honest.
Why would I not be? I mean, I had plenty of fear that it was going to be magnificent. So I'm well rewarded by the results.
Are you never
It's
tempted?
daft. I'd never go out and pretend to be somebody else.
Is he pretending, or is he just filling a gap? Is he just being a lead singer?
I don't know. I have no idea, but the other three are up to it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a lot of bands change their singers, you know, for various different reasons.
They're actually mocking the original content, and they're mellowing it down somewhat. And it's like an ominous omission for any band to be lacking the front man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
When the front man's available. I mean, obviously, you know, when Bon Scott...
He ain't not for them anymore.
Is it ne'er the twain, John? Will it never happen? Will you ever, you know, in your dotage?
No, listen, after using Walt Disney's financial backing to mock me in court, right? While Nora was dying, and they knew this, but that to me is an act of evil I can't easily forgive.
Yeah.
And why should I?
Yeah. It's not for you to forgive at this stage, is it? But, you know, maybe something will change in the future. I can only see that if you got together with them, you'd end up doing stadiums.
Only if I had a brain transplant. No, I'll do them no more favors ever again. Not ever. Not ever, never. I can say that quite casually, not knowing what the future is, but knowing what I am, never.
Well, let's move on. I was going to say that if you did rejoin them, you'd be playing super stadiums, wouldn't you? There'd be an awful lot of money available, I would guess.
Well, no, but it was the same old songs, isn't it? You know, come on.
Well, this is what I was saying. You're treading new paths.
The only need for me would be to come in and write new songs for them.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Yeah. Would you say, a few questions, would you say that Public Image Limited had its own sound? Because it's changed.
Sounds.
Yeah, sounds. Because it's changed over the years from the dub-infused early days.
Everything should. Otherwise, you're stuck in a bubble, and that's no good to anyone, particularly yourself.
Yeah. It started very dub and very heavy, and then it went almost stadium rock with Nine.
The first album was very dub and very heavy. It wasn't at all.
Well, no. But I was talking about the metal box phase, you know. Yeah. But it's changed a lot over the years, up to stadium rock and.
It's because the subject matter you're interested in or trying to describe and share with other people obviously demands a different soundtrack. Yeah. You know, and this is basically, to break it down into simple terms, is I, as the lyric writer, I explore all the emotions that life presents to me. Yeah. And I have to do that as honestly and accurately as I possibly can. And always I'm sharing those journeys with my band members. Yeah. They experience these things too. I listen intently to people, stories of their lives. This is an absolute must for me, is to listen.
Do you think that people in the audience really appreciate the emotion that goes into the lyrics that you deliver?
I've no doubt many of them do. I have no doubt some of them don't. Yeah. Because I'm sorry, I'm not in the business of picking and choosing who's going to be admonished or admired here. We all have our own journeys in life, and take what they will.
No, absolutely.
Oh my God, I almost dived into an Aleister Crowley statement. Do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law.
Do what thou wilt. Yes. I love that. Yeah, the Illuminatis. You talk about not regurgitating the past, but do you not feel that's exactly where music's going at the moment with country and the X Factor? You know, is there anything new in music? Are you experiencing and seeing any new bands that excite you?
There'll always be something new. It's
Yeah.
just don't rush the process.
Yeah.
Have patience, you know, and if you're impatient enough not to wait for someone to come and deliver it to you,
Yeah.
get off your fucking arse and do it yourself.
Yeah. I've got a few, I think this is going to finish it after 1 hour. I'm not sure, but I've got a few quick fire questions for you, John, that my gardener,
no.
Robert.
As you know, I'm exceedingly dim-witted. This is going to
My gardener, Robert, said that Chrissie Hynde wanted to join the Sex Pistols. Is that true?
I don't know. She may well have, but not as far as I know.
No, not as far as I've read. Was
No.
Jordan influential?
And in fact, Chrissie Hynde was absolutely hated by, which was a connection to Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren. They hated her with a gusto.
I thought she worked in sex with Vivienne.
That's probably why they hated her. I worked there too. They hated me.
Was Jordan influential in you being chosen as the Sex Pistols singer?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Jordan was just some girl who was trying to disguise herself as what we call a fag hag at the time.
Yeah.
But really, she was taking it all off Divine, the original drag queen in them hilarious movies.
Oh yeah.
Dog shit eater stuff.
Would Sid still be alive if he hadn't met Nancy Spungen? A view on that?
A difficult situation. I think he grabbed onto her because he seen her as an escape route. E.g., because putting him in the Pistols was bad because I hadn't figured out that he actually was no good at anything.
Oh, he got better though, didn't he?
No. I mean, we sent him to Lemmy for bass lessons.
Oh, is that right? I didn't realise.
Yeah, and Lemmy a couple of days later rung up and said, look, he ain't got no sense of rhythm. He's tone deaf.
Jesus. This might end in 20 seconds because I set it for an hour. So I apologise if it does end. Because I've really enjoyed speaking to you, John, as always. It's been absolutely brilliant. And I just want to wish you the absolute best for the tour coming this year and the spoken word tour that's following. If it goes after, it might disappear now.
Well, for me, you know, this is not the last tour.
It's going on. It's going on.
Yeah, but life goes on, and I'll find more and more interesting things as I get older to yak on about. But I'm not pretending that I'm 18 years old. It isn't like that with me.
And where's it going to go with you? Where's it?
There's no end to a proper good folk singer's work.
I'll tell you what, I was talking to John Robb because we run Louder Than War, right? And I said, John, what are we going to do when we're 70? And he said, what else is there to do? You know, are we just going to keep on going? Are we just what's your plan?
we were all misled slightly, and I've teased Pete Townsend for years on this one. Yeah, hope I die before I get old.
Yes.
You know, wait till you get old to know what you'd be thinking.
I know. When I'm 64.
I don't feel 69, although it is my favourite position.
Now.
I'm not running out of energy. When that happens and your body tells you to stop, then you pay attention to that.
Yeah.
At the moment, my brain is just a volatile quagmire of energy.
Well, where'd you get your energy from? You got 54 dates following the tour where you're going to do a spoken word tour. Why don't I know it's 54 dates? Because I just counted them. 54 spoken word dates after your tour. I mean, that's the problem is that how the heck, where'd you get the energy from? I mean, you know, we all get tired.
By being open.
Yeah.
And being generous with my thought processes and being honest. And I can't see anything stopping that except negative hecklers. And even then, I have fun with them.
Well, why would they come and see you if they're going to heckle you?
Life is for living.
Yeah.
Right? I've watched the slow death of my lovely Nora. I know how she hung on and clung on to the bitter end, right? And that's the way to go. Fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Yeah. All the way.
I don't buy into this at 69. I'm so old and I'm not supposed to be doing anything. That's nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but there is no limit on it, is there? I mean, the fact that the government is supposed to give you a pension.
That's the added bonus of the pension scheme will help.
Well, we're all we're supposed to wait until we're like 67.
Johnny's got a bus pass.
Well, you will if you come to England. You'll be able to use it. Have you?
Yes, of course. Fabulous. Oh,
does it get you on the tube as well?
Yes, all travel.
Do you take the tube when you come to England?
I do not.
I was going to say. It's a very good look.
It would bring back sad memories of me and Sid busking.
Oh,
we used to do that. We used to do that.
Yeah.
For a laugh, just go out and my favourite tune was "I Love the Dead" by Alice Cooper.
Oh, I love that as well.
Yeah, me on violin and Sid on God knows what, flute half the time.
The Four Johns.
No, it was hilarious, a laugh for us, something to do on a Friday night when you can't afford to get into a club. You try and pick the money up that way. But a lot of people give us money and were kind enough to say, only if you stop. And I've used that as a reference point in my life ever since.
There's a song in there as well, isn't there?
There's a career in it.
There's a career in it as well.
Yes, I've been careering.
If there's one thing you could change in your life, one turn that you'd taken slightly differently than you did, what would it be?
I don't ever have hindsight, so I can't look back and go, oh, if only. That's what happened. Deal with it, correct it if you've done anything wrong, and apologize profusely if you've been like rude and disgusting and wrong to another human being, and get on with it from there on in. But of course, always know the guilt is still in there, but oddly enough, use it in a song.
Yeah. No regrets.
So I've just recently watched a film called Heretic with what's his name? The allegedly handsome actor that got caught with prostitutes in America.
What? There's so many. Hugh Grant.
And there's a scene in that film that is amazing. He's playing a Holly song, and it's called Breathe.
I Breathe,
And he gives an absolute tear down of a band that recently did like a very, very close copy to it. And talking about the copyright being settled out of court. And it's really interesting. I think it was Coldplay or one of them Radiohead.
It was Radiohead with Creep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's as funny as fuck. And you're going, oh my God. Right. And then he kills it all by going, yes, but the Hollies took it from
Albert Hammond. Albert Hammond wrote the song.
Yeah. So there it is in the middle of this horror movie. This statement used to denigrate the value of religions. Completing murder. It's
been going on forever.
It's a script I felt, right, watching the film, oh, God, I could have done this.
Fantastic. Hey, it's been a joy. It's been a joy talking to you, John. You're looking very, very well. You don't look your 69 years without wishing to blow smoke up your arse. The last time I spoke to you, you were drinking a lot of alcohol and wine. Have you cut that back or something?
Oh,
or...
I don't drink now at all. Yeah.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. It's I wasn't getting drunk. It was it just wasn't doing anything, and so I'm the kind of a person. If it becomes repetitious, then stop it.
Yeah.
And I can do that. Now, cigarettes be the next to go, but I'm not banking on that because they
do you not miss it? Do you not miss the lager, the wine?
No, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I've done that, been there, had enough of that. Next, please.
Yeah. Is this a very recent thing?
Yeah, I'd say the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And yes, I do notice improvements on my health, and but at the same time, I really do miss those moments of madness.
Yes.
But I find I can achieve them now without actually consuming alcohol. I can just visit the memories of what my brain was in at that particular point. I'm very good like that. It's like a dreamscape. I can fit in and out.
But part of being with people.
It's like a photographic memory of things.
Reliving.
But with sensibilities.
Yeah. You can be intoxicated in people's company, I think, you go sit in the pub with a group of people and you can feel
I love that. I love that more than anything. And the talkie tours allow that, because obviously music tours, you can't exactly pull the bus up at a local pub and waste the time away, because you dangled on a schedule. But the talkie tour, I have all day long to do things in before I go on. I don't have to rehearse or worry about remembering songs or what's the set list. It's quite different.
And it's unscripted, right? You're just talking.
And I love the environment of British country pubs.
Yeah.
And you don't need the alcohol to bask in that.
Yeah. Fabulous. Amazing.
It is. Life is fantastic. It's for the living. Live it.
100%. Fabulous, John.
Back to the bottle.
Don't you do that. Just look at how you're glowing. It's so good for you not drinking.
But I'm fully aware that I will have a drink from time to time, but it's not compulsive. It's not like a habit I'm not in control of. I've got too much respect for myself for that. I hate to feel manipulated, even by me.
Even by Dr. Jameson and Mr. Carling.
Never Carling.
My brother drinks it till it comes out of his ears.
No, Red Stripe was my fave.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Red Stripe from Jamaica. Yeah, obviously.
Not really. It was always there in my youth.
Was it? Yeah, the
mid-70s. There was a large
time.
Jamaican contingent in our neighbourhood, and I got into it at a very early age. Loved it. Great stuff. All right, then.
Hey, it's been fantastic talking to you. Thank you so much. And thanks from everybody at Louder Than War. We will come and see you in May. And I wish you all the best for the tour. It's been absolutely splendiferous talking to you.
Well, Louder Than War. We're going to do home on this tour.
No
more war. And it'll be a you lot.
Well, we'll take it. No worries. All right, John.
Peace.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Yeah.
And your enemies always be behind you. May they scatter, flatter, batter, and shatter.
Fantastic. You take care, mate.
Take care. Peace.
Thank you very much.